Our participants for the next session, which is a debate between Governor Charles Partee of the Federal Reserve Board and Congressman Ron Paul, are here, so we will move now into that session. Thank you. The issue to be debated is gold versus discretion, meaning Federal Reserve discretion, and meaning a gold standard that is not discretionable. Our first participant will be Congressman Ron Paul, who is a graduate of Gettysburg College in Pennsylvania and the Duke University Medical School. He's been a member of Congress since 1976, and he is a senior member of the House Banking Committee, where he has long advocated a gold standard. He is a member of the Mises Institute's Distinguished Board of Advisors and is the author of Gold, Peace, and Prosperity and co-author with Louis Lehrman of The Case for Gold, which is a minority report of the U.S. Gold Commission. Mr. Partee has been a member of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System since 1976, the same time that Mr. Paul came to Washington. Before that, he was a managing director for research and economic policy on the board staff. He has also been a vice president and economist for the Northern Trust Company of Chicago. He received his bachelor's and master's degrees in economics from Indiana University and did graduate work at the University of Chicago. He was also a member of the U.S. Gold Commission, like Congressman Paul. Our first speaker will be Congressman Paul.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a real delight to be here with you today. I'm delighted with the nice turnout. Would like to thank Governor Partee for coming over and participating. It's a delight. We've done this in the past, and we always have a good time. And I'm always reminded to say that some of my best friends are members of the Federal Reserve Board. So it is real nice that Governor Partee has come over. And it is true, we both served on the Gold Commission, and this is where I came to know Governor Partee, and we have developed a friendship over this period of time since we served on that commission. The commission, as you know, the results showed that the American government was certainly not quite ready to go onto a gold standard. But I, for one, did not see the Gold Commission as a failure, because I thought that it was historically significant, because an official body at least discussed the issue, something they haven't been doing for a long time. And the fact that we have systematically rejected the notion of commodity money over a period of time of 70-some years, I would say that laying the groundwork for meetings like this and a discussion in the Gold Commission certainly is a sign that some positive things are happening in a philosophic sense. So I, for one, was never naive as to believe something would happen. I happen to think that the recommendation from the Gold Commission that the American government sell their gold out of the Treasury and mint gold coins and let you hold gold coins might not be a pretty good idea. I think that would be a good idea, and I think it would be just as easy for us to purchase an American-type ounce coin as anybody else. It certainly is a much better idea than passing a law that makes it illegal for you to buy a Krugerrand. I think that if you had the opportunity to buy an American Eagle coin, most likely there would be less Krugerrands bought anyway, but it would certainly be done in a very voluntary way. But the subject today is whether or not we should have a gold standard or whether we should follow the standard that we are using today, and that is the discretionary paper standard. And obviously I support the idea that it would be wiser to have a gold standard rather than a paper standard. And I think that, unfortunately, for those who believe in the paper standard, have one little problem. They have to defend what we have today, and they have to defend the soundness of the economy, the soundness of the dollars, and they have to explain why the interest rates are high and why the housing market's not doing so well. So I think they have a terrible job. And I'm in a much better position to say, well, we have another system, and the terrible thing that happened when we even had a little taste of a gold standard, we had that terrible situation where you had interest rates between 3 and 5%. So I would suggest that there are many, many advantages for the gold standard, and the specific things that are advantageous to us with the gold standard I'm not going to talk about in my opening remarks. I'm not going to explain why that you have low interest rates with the gold standard. I'm not going to explain to you why, if you had a free market and a gold standard, you would have full employment, except for a few who just physically were incapable of working. I happen to believe, and will not explain now, why a gold standard would secure an economy that would have sustained economic growth, and we would never have to worry whether it's 4% economic growth or 10%. If the economy decided to grow with a healthy currency and a healthy economy at a rapid rate, we would never be concerned about cutting off the gold supply in order to thwart a business recovery. And also, I don't think I will mention anything at my opening remarks about why a gold standard would enhance free trade around the world, which is one of the most significant problems that we're facing today, because we have paper currency fluctuating not on a monthly basis or a yearly basis, but on an hourly basis and sometimes on a minute basis, and it is positively impossible for anybody to set up long-term trade agreements, and for this reason we are seeing some serious problems. So I would not even suggest to mention that it has anything to do with the unsoundness of our currencies that has delivered to us in Texas on the Mexican border a disastrous problem. Mainly because one country destroyed their money slightly faster than another country, and now on both sides the unemployment rate is 50%. And I would not want to mention at the beginning also whether or not a gold standard would have anything to do with savings, with the belief that the purchasing power of the dollar would be maintained over a period of time, because it just happens that it would have a lot to do with savings, especially if you combine that with eliminating all taxes on interest earned on savings. But what I would like to mention are 4 points about the gold standard in very general terms. Why I have come to accept the idea that a gold standard is the only standard that can be used if you want a free market and you want a sound, healthy economy. First off, it's the issue of central planning. So often there are many conservatives who believe that central planning in farming and agriculture and producing steel and doing anything in the economy outside of money is a disaster. They say, well, look at the results of central planning in Russia. Look at the central planning in any socialist nation, and they reject it outright, and I believe correctly. But in the same sense, they reject central planning in every other area, but wholeheartedly endorse the same concept with central planning in money. And I have come to the conclusion that central planning of money is just as disastrous as central planning in farming. And therefore, just the general idea, the notion that man is capable of planning the economy by controlling the money. But the one thing